Hello everyone, welcome back to Virtual Sunday School. So this week we're talking about Esther's bravery again. I don't know if you saw last week's video, but last week Elizabeth helped me tell the story through Godly Play and it was so awesome. And we talked about how Esther was brave and how her bravery saved so many people. And we also talked about ways that we can be brave today, like doing something that's a little bit hard, maybe like going to virtual school or wearing a mask in public, something that we're not used to, but doing it anyways is being brave. And so we talked about that, and I want to talk about the story again today because it's always fun to take a story and to play pretend and to be a little bit silly with it. And I just want to share that even though I am going to dress up and I'm going to retell the story for you in a fun way, that doesn't mean that I'm not taking the story seriously. Sometimes a way to really understand a story is to look at it in so many different ways. So playing pretend with animals at home or toys or dress up, coloring a picture, playing with Play-Doh, any way that you can reimagine this story in a way that works for you and your imagination is wonderful, and I encourage you to do that. So we're going to do that again today, but I'm not going to do the whole story because that would be a lot. So I'm going to begin by introducing our characters. So Queen Esther is now married to the king, so she's officially the queen. Now she has a friend, a right-hand man by the name of Mordecai. He's kind of like her advisor, maybe like an uncle almost. Somebody who helped her to be the queen and to get into that position. And so she was living with the king in the land of Susa. You know, sometimes when I read Bible stories and I don't understand the city or the town, I just put in my own town in there. So we are going to say Asheville. So King Esther and the queen ruled over Asheville. It's kind of easy to understand and to put that story more into perspective when you can imagine it being from your town. And we're just playing pretend so we can do that ourselves. So they ruled in the city of Asheville. So the king had just hired a new person by the name of Haman. Now Haman really thought he was so wonderful, and the king appointed him in the highest position in the kingdom other than, of course, being the king. So he was like second in command, which is a big deal. So he went around to the Jewish people and he wanted them to bow to him because that's what the king said. He was so important in the kingdom that they had to bow to him and kneel to him. So I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago with the 10 Commandments, one of the 10 Commandments is do not have any other gods. Do not worship anything else other than God. And so to bow down, to kneel before Haman would have been a violation of that first one of those 10 Commandments. And so Mordecai said, I will not bow to you. I can't. It will dishonor my God. And so Mordecai and all the other Jewish people felt, and I feel the same way. I think they made the right decision to not bow down to anyone other than God. And so that is where our story begins today.
Ah, yes, my new hat.
Sorry, but I can't bow down to you because it would dishonor my God.
Well, excuse me, King.
Ah, yes, Haman. Come on in.
Sir, I need you to sign this law into order.
Ah, yes. Wait. This says all Jewish people, young and old, women and children, are to be destroyed and killed. What?
Sir, you do not understand. They will not bow to me because they said it will dishonor their God. I am obviously better than any God, so if they won't bow to me, we should just kill them all.
I guess that makes sense. Wow, that's a lot of people to kill. How will we do this?
I'm glad you asked. I will roll these which are basically just fancy dice, and they will set the date for the official execution.
So basically, we're just going to play a game, and that's going to seal the fate of thousands of people?
Yep.
Yes, this seems very reasonable. What did they say?
The 13th day of the 12th month. Okay.
Wow, that was such a fair way to do this. Here, I've signed the scroll. There you go.
Excellent, thank you. I will make copies and place it all over town.
What is this? Mordecai, have you seen this? What? Oh no. Oh dear. This is bad. Oh, this is because we wouldn't bow down to the king's new high priest. We were supposed to bow to him, but I refused to worship anyone but God. I have an idea. Esther, you can save all of the Jewish people. Just tell the king that you are Jewish. I know that he doesn't know that about you, but I think that he truly does love you and he would want to make you happy. You're the only one who can save us all. Me? I'm not sure I'm able to do that. I'm kind of afraid. Esther, you will die with your people unless you act. Perhaps you are queen for such a time as this. Okay, I'll do it. Here, take this invitation to the king and Haman. I will make dinner for us all tonight. Please take a seat. Dinner's on the table. If you'll excuse me, I'll just be right back. Mordecai, I can't do this. I'm really nervous. I had no idea how hard it is to be brave. Look, Esther, it's all right. You can do this. You're right. I can do this. Just not tonight. I'm going to invite them back again tomorrow and try again. Okay, good plan. Thanks. Bye. Okay. No. All right, I'm back. Look, I'm not feeling very well. I think I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. Oh no, Queen Esther, I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better soon. Yes, thank you. I still do want to talk with you all about something, but can we all come back again for dinner tomorrow? Oh yes, of course. Haman and I will be there. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. I can be brave. I can be... Oh, hello. Hello, Queen. We're here again for dinner tonight. Yes, please sit. Excuse me, my king. I have something I need to talk with you about. Yes, Esther? What is it? Well, there's something I never told you. I am Jewish. I'm deeply sad by the law that wants the Jewish people to die, and they're my people. They're my family. Haman's law is cruel and unjust. I do not think that he is fit to be a leader in this land.
What? Oh goodness. My king, my queen, I am so sorry. Please, I beg of you. But maybe not forget the great scandal that the queen lied to you and didn't tell you she was Jewish.
Wow, my queen is Jewish. I don't think there's a problem in that, though, because I care about you, and I truly do think you are a wonderful queen, so I'm all right with the fact that you're Jewish. Now, Haman, you have dishonored this kingdom, and you should either leave this land or face the same fate you wanted of the Jewish people. Queen Esther, thank you for sharing with me that you are Jewish. To make things right, I will make Mordecai the new highest priest. He will make sure all people are treated with respect, and I will revoke that terrible law at once. The Jewish people will live, and to honor this moment, we will celebrate this day each and every year. Let's go and celebrate now. Thank you, King. Our sorrows have been turned to joy. Let's celebrate by having parties, but also by giving to the poor and by sharing gifts of food with each other.
Good morning. We are back again this week talking about more bravery. The times that we need to be brave are frequently times that we're nervous or scared. And just like every single person is different, the things that scare us are different. I'm a little scared of snakes. I just don't like them. My kids have no problem with snakes. They would happily pick up a snake. Some people are afraid of being up high. Some people are totally fine with that. Some people are afraid of talking in front of big groups. And other people have no problem talking in front of a big group. It's a little bit different for every single person. One very common thing to be scared of is the unknown. When you don't know what's going to happen. So I like to know what's going on. I like to have a good plan. I like to have a good schedule. I like to have lists. I like my kids to know what's going on. We work well that way. And this year, we have had to deal with a lot of the unknown. And sometimes that's scary. Right now, we're starting to see some people change school schedules. They might be going into class some days, working at home some days. It's different for everybody, and it can be just something bigger to deal with, something that's a little scary, something that's a little anxious. You're doing something different, and you're not quite sure what you're going to need to do. So it's hard to make plans. It's hard to envision yourself doing it really well because you're not quite sure what it looks like. So I have 2 different things that we're going to talk about good ways to deal with the unknown. The first is a way that I've been doing it since I was a little girl. I used to get nervous whenever there was a big change. And my mom always said, what's the worst thing that can happen? So let's say I was nervous because I had a math test at school. And I would be so nervous. And she would say, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I would say, well, that I sit down to take the test and I don't know any of the answers. And she would get a little goofy and she would say, that's not the worst thing that would happen. The worst thing that would happen would be if you sat down and a dog ran into the classroom and took your math paper. And then every pencil you had, every time you put your pencil down, it broke. Or if you were taking it on the computer, that none of the keys worked. So even if you thought you knew how to do it, none of the keys worked and you couldn't get anything to work and you spent your whole time trying to mess with the computer and you never got to put a single answer down. And usually we would get pretty goofy thinking about the absolute worst thing because we could always make it really bad. Sometimes it was like crazy things, but it was funny to talk about. So right now we're dealing with a lot of unknown, and it's hard for me to even think about the worst thing that can happen. So I'm flipping it on the other side. So next week has unknowns for me. And when I feel those unknowns getting big and heavy and hard and kind of stressing me out to think about, I try to take a few minutes and I'm trying to take 4 deep breaths. And when I take those deep breaths, I'm trying to think about things that I do know. So taking a deep breath and saying, I don't know what the schedule for school looks like this week, but I do know that the very last thing that I'm going to do that day is I'm going to snuggle under the covers of my bed and turn out my light. And that makes me feel better knowing that no matter what happens that day, that's going to happen at the end of the day. I don't know what the school schedule is going to look like that week, but I know that I love my family, and my family is here. I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I know that the sun is up in the sky, and it might be cloudy that week. I might not be able to see it, but then know that the sun is back there just waiting to peek out one day. I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I know that one time this week, when I asked my dog if he wants to go for a walk, my dog is going to come running right down by the front door with his tail wagging as fast as he can, so he can hardly even sit down, his tail is wagging so hard. Those are things I do know. I could take it much farther than that. I can always come up with things that I do know. A lot of them have to do with my family. They might have to do with things I know about my house. Like I know I'm going to get tucked into bed. My kids know they're going to get tucked into bed with a kiss on their head, whether they like it or not, and a hug, and a prayer. So, as you go forward and you have things that you don't know what's going to happen, I want you to try to take a deep breath and try to come up with 4 things that you know are going to happen that day. So, think about the things that are comfortable to you. Think about the people who are around you that love you. And think about the things that you can be certain of. I hope this helps you this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, friends. Well, that is our lesson for the day. I hope you enjoyed chatting with Miss Erin and also seeing me, Miss Ann, dress up a little bit silly and play pretend with the story of Esther. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I just wanted to say that if there are any of you all who want me to take Sunday school to your house, just have your adult email me and I can set that up, and we'll come and you can help me teach your friends a Sunday school lesson. I also just am so thankful for you all and for the ways that you tune in each week, even though it might be hard, because by doing that, you are being brave. And I hope that the story of Esther taught you today that just because you are afraid doesn't mean that you can't also be brave. For Esther was afraid to have bravery, and she still did it. She still had bravery, and she still saved a bunch of people. And so, friends, I encourage you this week to figure out the ways you can be brave in just the little things that you do each week. All right, see you all next week. Bye.